Hey everyone, it's 7 p.m. Central, 8 Eastern, 6 Mountain, 5 Pacific, 2 p.m. out in Hawaii, 6 p.m. tomorrow, or 6 a.m. tomorrow out in Indonesia, and noon tomorrow in Australia. Welcome everybody. My name is Tom Springer, and I'm the host of Stuff I Never Learned from the School Book. Now, I am traveling, so bear with me as I kind of put everything together because I'm using my laptop and all that wonderful ones. Wow. And words are hard on a Monday, apparently, and all that wonderful stuff. And I've been traveling all day, so I'm not quite together, but I will get there. Anyways, welcome to the show. If you are here for the first time, welcome. I am your host, Tom Springer, and you will know me as the Bearded One. For your repeat offenders, welcome, everybody. I'm glad you're here. I have on a repeat guest, but I haven't seen her for a while, and she's done some stuff in the meantime since then. So like written a book and stuff like that and all that, weird stuff. Who does that? Words are hard, like I said. So I'm going to go ahead and just basically bring on Amber so I can stop talking and she can talk for a while. See, look, words are hard. But Amber will talk for me. Hi, everybody. Let's say hi to Amber. Hi, Amber.
Hey, everyone. You're cracking me up.
I can't even get the start of this out yet. Blah, blah, shit, shit.
You need coffee. You need coffee.
So, I don't drink coffee. That's my problem. So,
well, you need to start.
Hi, Stuart. What's going on, brother?
Hey.
Uilani ku'ule. Look, I can still say that. I can't say the word, but I can say uilani ku'ule. That makes perfect sense. My wife is telling me no. She still sees the gray in my beard because I told her, wow, it looks darker to me for some reason on the camera. She's like, nope, just kidding. So hi, Kathy. Hi, Primal. So everybody say hello, and I want to say hello to you. Again, you and I have kind of known each other for a couple years now, I think.
Yeah, it's been a while.
We just kind of blah blah and talk on stuff, and I go out and watch your little weird stuff that you go on out with crazy ass people.
Yes.
Hello. This is actually Stuart's wife. If you did not know, this is Stuart's wife that pops on and says hi as well. So, yeah, so you go out and do weird stuff with weird people, and then I go out and watch it and laugh at y'all and,
yes.
and listen to you fall in the water or listen to you scream and listen to you go, what was that? And so it's always fun to do. But that's always the good stuff. So that's why we're here. Everybody does not know who you are. First off, shame on them.
Right.
And let's make that happen because I will go ahead and put that up there so that everyone can start looking at your stuff right there as we're talking. So do me a favor for those who don't know you. Hello, Ms. Melissa. For those who do not know you, do me a favor and introduce yourself. Don't make it
my name is Amber.
I am to talk. Let everyone know who you are, what you do, and how long you've been doing it. Yes, I can do it.
Okay, my name is Amber, and I love long walks on the beach with dead guys, and I like to write. I like to talk to dead people, and sometimes dead people are just cooler than living people. I hate to admit that, but it's true. I like to go on spooky adventures, just do that kind of stuff and make bad decisions like I did today. It was not a bad decision, but it was an impulse decision. I have ADHD, so
please tell everybody what you did today. Let's talk about what you did today.
It was like 4 o'clock today.
Let's go to squirrel moment number 1. So
yes. So I agreed to the neighbors had a horse that my daughter loves, and she's like, hey, you guys can have it if you want it. And I'm like, okay. So now we have a horse.
So now they have a horse. Oh my goodness, I just thought about that. You just said you have a horse, and I'm expecting my wife to pop up to say, we need to go visit you. So I'm sure she's typing it as I'm saying it because she loves horses. So my owner. Wow.
Oh my.
My boss owns horses.
Oh, that was funny.
And so every once in a while we get to go over to my boss's house and she just wants to go to pet the horses. See? Yes, a horse. See? Told you.
I will send you a picture later. It's so cute.
Yeah, so Wendy says talk to the horse, it'll change your whole life. And explain why you got the horse. Not for you, but for
daughter. So ever since she was like 2, we took her to horseback lessons. She loved them, right? She's loved horses and she's always wanted one. I've always had goats, geese, like all that stuff. I don't have any of that anymore. I got rid of all my farm animals. I have 2 ducks, and my dogs and cats. But I always told her, I can never afford a horse. Like if we ever get one, the right one will come to us. I kid you not. I've got video at midnight of this horse coming over here and just loving on her. And it's been coming over here. And they have this bond now. And she was like, remember when you told me that it'll come to us? Well, now it came to us. She loved
and now
this
you can't
horse.
back out of it. So
I
yeah, now you
can't.
can't back out of it. So yep. See?
I can't.
Now, are you going to stick to the deal? Because I know you already had this deal with your daughter. She has to take care of it.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to stick to that? Or are you going to be like, okay, I'll help take care of it. I'll take care of it because, you know, you have a life and blah, blah, blah.
So
whatever.
far, she's been shoveling horse poop. So she's done
Oh,
great.
nice. Good.
And she brushed her today, fed her carrots, did all that stuff. So
Is she a horse that can be ridden yet? Or do you have to break her still?
no, she's about 10. She used to be ridden.
Okay.
She used to be ridden daily by a family, and her owner was a teenager. Well, she had her for, I think 8 years. And sadly, the little girl passed away when she was 15. And the horse has been without a family, kind of, anybody to ride her for a couple of years now. So
Yeah.
I think it's just meant to be, honestly.
I think so. Yeah. A horse walks into your life. Not very often a horse walks into
If
your
this
life.
is not divine intervention, I don't know what is, right?
Yep. I think this is identifying that you need to start being a horse whisperer or an animal talker, as well as all the other paranormal stuff you do. So maybe it's putting you on a new path. So just adding to everything else you do. Speaking of, what else you been doing lately?
Wrote another book. So it's my second one. It just came out in like the end of September. And actually have it here. It'll probably be backwards, but this is my new one.
No, it actually comes out correctly. So,
but it's like reflecting the screen. But I don't know how to fix that. But anyways, that's my new one, and it's available on Amazon.
Title of it?
It is called Appalachia-Mostly True Scary Stories.
Right.
Mostly true.
Mostly true.
Yeah.
Mostly.
So it's based on like either cryptids or creatures from Appalachia, but the story in the book is fiction. So it's like nonfiction. Wait a minute. Hold on. It's based on real creatures, but the stories are fiction. So
okay. So it's based on what some people would call fictional creatures, and it's fictional.
Yes, but they're very real.
Right. I'm just putting that out there.
Right. I mean, some people probably think
that will be like, right. Some people think you're just truly straight up a fiction writer.
Right. Some people probably think I'm nuttier than a squirrel, and I don't care anymore. Like they can believe me or not. It's fine. I'm not going to get offended.
Yeah. Don't care at all.
Right. I'm over that part of my life. I'm getting older. I just want to relax.
Now that we're getting into I'm reading what Stuart's writing here. Let's bring up what Stuart wrote. See, we're not even to our paranormal stuff yet. We're still getting drawn back to the horse. So Stuart states, how big is her daughter? You can get the horse ready by walking alongside them every so often, just laying on its back.
She's 11.
Yeah.
So my plan is to kind of like just get a halter and a lead and let her walk her around through the winter, because we do get kind of snowy winters here. And then in the spring, I have a neighbor who has some horses, and I'm going to let her test it and see how she does before I put my daughter on there. But I think she'll do great. She's a really good horse.
Yeah. Yeah, they all say that until you actually try to climb up on top of it. Then it becomes a totally different beast.
Yeah, it's not going to be either one of us. I'll have to. If my neighbor's watching this, you're it.
Stuart says too small yet, but stubborn like her mother.
Yes, very.
Yes,
very.
Yes. And I've seen recent pictures of her. She's a very beautiful young lady. She's growing up just faster than a weed. Jeez.
Yes.
So there's Mr. Jason. Hello, Jason. What's going on, brother?
Hi, Jason.
Is that her I hear? What do I hear? Do I hear an animal or do I hear a kid?
Well, the cat, and she's crawling across the floor to get something.
Oh, well, all right.
You want to say hi?
Tell her
Hurry
to
up.
peek in and say hi. There she is. Hi. How you been?
Good. Horse. Yeah, we were talking about your horse.
Yeah, we're talking about your horse. Weird how you got a horse. She says she'll be riding behind your back. That's what she says. So this answer, Kathy, is absolutely yes. She's asking, does your daughter have any abilities? That answer is yes.
Yes.
Does she accept them? Well,
yes. She's doing really good with it. Yeah. The last two investigations I've been on, I went to a like an enclosed building that I knew was a safe environment. We were safe in there and we were locked in, and I took her with me, and I'm like, if you feel anything, see anything, hear anything, let me know. We didn't do anything super scary. You know, it was just kind of connecting and seeing what's going on. And she's done really well. I mean, if she's going to have to live with it, she needs to learn. And that's the best way to teach her.
So this conversation came up a while ago, Kathy, because beforehand, Amber was doing this interview from a vehicle where she can actually get connectivity. So now she's upgraded because they actually got connectivity out in their location. So now she's at her home. Yay. But last time you and I talked, we had this discussion, and I talked to your daughter about this. Basically telling her, look, you have them. You just have to accept them. You just have to bite the bullet, just either move on with it or, start growing them now and use mom, i.e. you, as a great sounding board to do this with. So I'm glad that she's moving that forward. And that she's accepting it and she's doing well with it. So yeah, and it's funny because when she popped in, I can see it on her instantly, like the difference in her. And Nikki's saying that it was like Beetlejuice. We said your daughter's 3 times and she popped in. So it's like Beetlejuice.
Probably.
And Stuart said he remembers that interview. So yep. So yeah, that was the last time you and I talked. Was we were discussing about if she was going to accept her abilities and if we were going to teach her and all that wonderful stuff. So I'm glad she's working.
And with the overall ascension happening with Earth and everybody, it's like you have no choice at this point. Like you need to get on board or you're going to fall off.
Right.
I mean, so to speak. I mean, it's powerful right now. The energy is just it's there.
Yeah, and if you're and it's interesting because I work with a lot of so for those people who don't know, I currently still work with Air Force people, airmen of all ages, kids, older adults, everything else, that wonderful stuff. And it's interesting to see how the airmen coming up are, you can see they have something. Hi, Sandy. They have something, but they haven't tapped into it yet. And I'm watching that with the airmen as the 18, 19, 20, 21-year-olds, as they're just to that point and they're just walking around in this haze in my office spaces, and they're connected, but they don't know how to connect, if that makes any sense. They know it's there. They just don't know what to do or how to latch into it. And they all know what I do, but no one comes and asks me for my advice. So I just stand back. I don't want to force myself upon anybody. And when they're ready, and if they want to, I'm available. They know that. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see how the Air Force takes up their abilities and their awakenings as they happen.
It's happening
very shortly. Shortly.
Over Halloween season, I had agreed to go to a haunted house, and I was like kind of set up outside doing readings if people wanted them while they waited in line. And there were 2 different people that I did readings for, both women. And I had to just tell them, like, you have these abilities. Here's what I feel from you. And, one was like, I don't think I have abilities. And then I'm like, okay, but are you feeling things? Are you kind of hearing things? Because I feel like you're hearing voices and you kind of think you're crazy. And she was like, yeah. I'm like, okay, you need to trust that. You're not
Yeah.
crazy. And then another lady was like, oh, I don't want to hear from spirits. I've had some bad luck with that, and she was an older lady. And
Mm.
so we did her reading and I'm like, okay, your lights that keep flickering. She's like, how did you know? I'm like, your mother, she's crossed over, right? She's like, yeah. I'm like, well, she's flicking the lights because she wants you to talk to her. And,
Right.
I'm sitting there talking to her and she's like, I wish my husband was here because he swears those lights, it's just in my head because the lights are always fine when he's there. It was so sweet. But yeah, I think we all harness and some type of ability, some type
Yeah.
of ability. You just
Yeah.
gotta tap into it.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't know that what they identify as like their intuition or their sixth sense is actually the start of an ability for a lot of
It
people,
is.
and they just don't recognize it. For some reason they're always in the right place at the right time, or somehow there's always something that they're like, oh yeah, I've done this before, or anything. There's something that they're tapping into that, but they don't recognize as what it's for. I'm absolutely one who was guilty of that for 49 years. I'm one who always did things, and I was like, well, that was kind of odd. And I'm like, oh, but now it makes so much sense when I look back on it. So.
Well, yeah, and like I kind of am guilty of the same thing because like it all started with me when I was 5, but I didn't really start tapping into. I was like, what, 29, 30? Like I waited and I was just like kind of letting them terrify me. And at the same time, I was still going on ghost hunts and like, I know you're there. I can see you, and and talking to them, but I was still kind of afraid of them. It's just always been a part of my life. But once you kind of figure it out, you can call the shots.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's I think that's what's going to be interesting for a lot of people is I get the feeling a lot of people will be like I was because I did awaken so late. They're going to be like, I swear to God, I had no clue what the hell I was walking into when it happened. Like it happened, and then I just figured we all had the same abilities. I was naive enough to just think, oh, once you have it, and everybody has the same thing. Cool. So now I'm all of a sudden in this big, wonderful group, and we can all do this. We can all do this. And people are like, wait a minute, you can do what? And I'm like, I can do this. And they're like, no. And I'm like, what do you mean no? They're like, nope. I'm like, oh, well, that's different. So, and I think I'm waiting for a lot of the people, and it's really interesting. Again, going back to my government side, because we're government, how much of them are going to be willing to come and step forward while they're doing their job in the government to say, hey, I'm having this happen. I mean, I had one tech sergeant come to me because he heard what I did and what I do, and his daughter was basically, for a better term, she was attacked, but not so much physically. It kind of made her real woozy. It made her start speaking in weird ways and stuff like that. Well, she got hit by something that was it was just basically attached to her just to talk, and then it left her, but it left her kind of weirded. And so he's like, so I'm going to come and ask you this, but is it cool if we don't talk about this at work? And I'm like, sure, no problem. But so it's kind of that weird thing where like I'm the weird guy over in the corner, and people want to ask questions, but they just don't know how. So I'm waiting for that to happen a lot more. And it seems like there's a lot more happening. I mean, I don't know if it's just because we just had Halloween, but it seems to be like currently right now, there's a lot more happening right now, even with me, than what there has been in the past. So
I think a lot of it has to do with just the overall, like I said earlier, like this ascension type thing happening. A lot of us are going into this more 5D reality realm. And with that, our abilities are going to pick up, increase if we allow it. We don't have to do this. Things are going to change whether we want them to or not. That's why I'm like, you either get on board or you're going to get left at the train station. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
But it's just like this, like almost like a new world, a new earth, a new loving, like I feel nothing but love from it. And we have power. Like, I know we've talked about this before, manifesting, saying things, if you want to get this certain job, you talk about it over and over, like you already have it. Don't say I'll never get it. that's
Right.
manifesting. But I know I don't. We're not going to talk about this for a long time, but I just want to use like this as an example. Right. A couple weeks ago, I made a video, and I think I did this live on YouTube. Because I was feeling all this chaos energy, and I had these visions, and I've been having them like all year, of these huge waves and a lot of destruction and death. And we had those hurricanes happen. So I'm
Yep.
like, I really feel bad about, and it wasn't Helene I was seeing, it was Milton. And there were other psychics and mediums, feeling this too.
Right.
But then we all come together, and we, as collective, thousands and thousands of people are trying to calm the storm, right? With our
Right.
thoughts, our intentions, and it
Yeah.
calmed it. If we can
Yeah.
change a hurricane that fast, imagine what we can do that we are not allowing ourselves to just comprehend.
Right.
We can
Right.
change things
Yeah.
on a huge level.
Yeah. And I understand that and believe that too, because there was one of them was going on the Facebook page, and someone was asking, hey, focus on this, try to calm it down, and that was Milton you were talking about, and it was going on Facebook too, for in a lot of the groups I'm part of, that was, hey, you need to let's focus on this. So that was something I was focusing on too. So Primal says things are getting weirder by the day. Saw something crawling into my bedroom the other night. The next day I heard a female screaming. Nobody else could hear it. So, yep. Yeah, I will share something later on, but and Wendy states November 1st was the day that Atlantis and Lemuria fell. This explains a lot. So yeah, we're tied into so many things that happened, or that do happen at this time of year,
Right.
especially. So and it doesn't help that whatever, I am not an astrologer in any way, shape, or form, but I see a lot of the reportings going on, like we're in this ascending, and we're in this and blah. My goodness, people, just pick one. Yeah. Like right now we're supposed to go through stuff that's kind of weird. So it kind of matches up with everything. Uilani Ku'ule says, yes, activity has been through the roof and energy has been super high in the recent months. More and more shadows coming out around me now. Yeah, and that's something I'm seeing a lot of, especially out of the corner of my eyes. I'm noticing a lot more. Well, I'm not at the house right now, so that's going to freak Nikki out, but especially at the house. They're just little movements. They're just little things. There's nothing that's dangerous or hazardous or anything else, but I just see the move. I just see the movement and I know it's there. So, and I think for us, it's just because we're around water. So I think we have that opening because we're so close to the lake, that I think ours is attached to the water. So
and because you have abilities.
And because I have abilities, and because Nikki has abilities and all that wonderful stuff. But I think the reason that ours right now are so active is because the water is around us. See, and there she says, she says, I actually saw something the other day. Yes, me. So she saw something as well. So she's okay with me saying it then. Cool. But it's, why now? Let me ask you that. Why now? Why not last year at this time? Why now?
I'm not going to say I know the answer, because I don't. But what I do feel is that, we're in that Pluto return. And ironically enough, it hasn't happened in our lifetime. It's been since July 4th, 1776, around that time, that the last one happened. So this is time for exposure and for you to kind of see things the way they are. We're going to be noticing. I have gotten violations on every freaking social media platform I'm on. So I'm going to with the singer that was arrested, we're seeing more of that. And we're seeing these people who follow him, and people who are kind of hiding now. And more people are going to see this, because I think before, even a couple of years ago, people would be like, oh, that didn't happen. He didn't do that. It's just, you know what I mean? Like, but it's right. Real, we're seeing all this stuff. We're seeing and understanding that, maybe there really are ETs. Maybe there really are these things. Maybe there really are bad people. We're kind of really seeing things for what they are. And that has a lot to do with it. And that's going to help us in this moving to this 5D ascension. It's going to help us, because we need everybody kind of aware. And it's just about being aware of your surroundings. And once your eyes are open like that, there's no going back. There's no
So,
going back.
so do you think, good or bad, just the energy that is out there right now, because of what's about to happen tomorrow,
Hmm.
is kind of pushing things forward? Because that's a lot of energy that's being pushed right now.
Hmm.
I mean, there's a lot of
Yes.
people wishing, hoping, manifesting that one way or the other, their person gets picked. Now, I'm not making this
Hmm.
political in any way, shape, or form. I'm just letting you know
Right.
that there's a lot of freaking energy out there, because
Yes.
people are hoping, praying, and doing everything they can to try to make sure that one person gets picked or whatever else. Councilman, state,
Hmm.
Congress, whatever. That's a lot of energy. So
It is. Absolutely.
and that's what I'm wondering too, is
Yeah.
if that's kind of if that's kind of what's opening up a lot of stuff right now.
It is. And when you have so many groups of people, or like, let's just say it's just split, and that energy is just back and forth, it can cause you to feel bad, to feel the tension, feel the anxiety. And honestly, today and even yesterday, I felt so much peace lately. Like, it just kind of happened, and which is good, because I've felt that chaos energy for a while now.
That's what she was talking about. Was Wendy was talking about the chaos energy that's been going on.
Yep. But I started feeling peace yesterday, and I'm like, and I feel it today too. I really feel like, I mean, obviously we know that one way or another there's going to be chaos the next few weeks, couple months. It's inevitable, but I feel peace around all of it. That it's all going to be, in the end, it's all going to happen for the good.
Yeah,
it might take some time, but it's going to happen for the good.
Yeah, one way or the other, something's going to happen.
One way or the other.
Yeah. So I'm kind of switching over to subjects here, because we're going to talk about you and I bounce everywhere. So
yeah,
bounce. What's your latest you've been out to go investigate?
The last one was the antique store, the dark entity in the back room. He was fun. He was interesting. And I've been trying to do, I might start another series. I did one in my own woods, but there's a lot of dogs out in the neighborhood, so it makes it really hard. Trying to film for 40 minutes, it takes me about 4 hours. So a lot of editing. It's difficult, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be going anywhere coming up. I'm not sure. I'm sure I will, but I'm not sure where. But
you mentioned the antique shop, and that's one place Nikki will not go. She just for some reason, she just does not like going antiquing or into the and like the thrift stores and stuff like that, because of the old energy it's attached to it all.
Well, the one I went to, I have asked this guy for years. I'm like, let me come in. And he's always like, no, because he lives there too, and in an apartment and near it or whatever.
You don't want to know.
Yes, and he's like, no. Well, then we went as a group. Like, there's like a paranormal meetup that happens once a month, and we kind of all just went there and like a field trip that night, and right. I'm like, you know me, I've been asking you, and let's do this, and he agreed, and I'm so thankful he agreed to let me go there. They actually have a oddities room. I call it the demonic room. It's got human bones in it. It's got all that good stuff. Very, very weird. I did buy my latest item I bought there was a Aleister Crowley soft deck. And yeah, it was. It's not an old one, but it was based on the one from the 70s. Like, it's like a replica. Yeah. It was interesting.
Yeah. Did you get anything else from the antique shop?
Oh yeah, I saw a lady floating. A lady that floats, like she's on a broomstick, but she's not on a broomstick. She just floats around up and down the stairs. Yeah, that was interesting. A little girl that has black hollow eyes.
Oh, nice.
She's creepy.
Yeah.
I always try to give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, even though they have stuff oozing from them, they look sweet.
Right. You're cute. Yeah.
Right. I mean, if they don't try to mess with me, then I don't. It's fine. Just I have my protection up, and I'm good. But I definitely like to go places, and I like to go in blind. I don't want to know about the location. I don't want to know about the history.
That's how I am.
I want to go in blind, and I want to tell you what's here. I want to tell you what I felt, and then I'll talk to you after. That's how I like to do it.
Yeah. That's kind of how we are, how I am, especially because I don't want to have that prejudice already upon me about what others have found or whatever else. If I look at something, it's the history of it, not really the paranormal side of it. Like I may do some research on people who used to live there or something like that, but I don't really look at anything that anyone's done paranormally with it, because I don't want to know that. I just want to know, some of the just the bare bones basics about it. What was it before, type of thing, whatever else. So I kind of get some kind of history behind it. Wendy said, you would love the Sedona area than in Arizona. They are everywhere here. Yeah, I would love to
go
Sedona.
there.
Yeah.
There's
I
don't know if you follow her. So. She's on YouTube, Lily Nova. She
Lily
connects
Nova
with
and I are friends. Yep.
Okay. Well, she's doing Sedona next year, and I tried to go on there and look at the tickets, and it's like the page won't work. So I messaged her. I want to go. It's like a little workshop where they'll be there for like 4 days. We need to do that.
Yep. Yeah. She and I have been. I've been trying to get her to come on my show.
I love
every time I tag her, she's out doing something. But right now she's kind of in her slow period, so I think I'm going to reach out again to try to get her on my show. So
yes,
so that'll be good. Because I would like to have her come on and just talk about what she does, and she's out in the West. Because she's out in the West, that's where I'm born and raised, out in that West Coast area. So she's all about my vibe out there. So
yeah. I googled Map Sedona, and it was like a 1.5 day drive for me. I'm like, no, I'd have to fly. But I would love to do that. Could you imagine the stuff we could do, like the power and
my goodness,
it would be amazing.
But you do know that if we went out that direction, what I would want to look for, because I just want to go look for it.
What?
Oh, it starts with an S and ends with a walker.
Oh yeah.
I'd have to go look. So
we'll be walking them on a leash. What are you talking about? I'm just kidding. They're gonna come after me to go there.
So Wendy says Jerome would be pretty cool. Dark history there. Then she says Jerome is a stepsister to Sedona. They're both cool cities. I drive them often. So we might have to have Wendy come on and talk about things that she's seen and done out there in those locations. Then, so
there you
go, Wendy. See that? See, she says vampires and werewolves are amazing here. See that, Wendy? Now we got to talk later on. Well, you and I will talk. So just stand by. But yeah, that's definitely something on my bucket list, because I like doing. We've done homes, we've done some other places and stuff like that, but I like doing wide open areas.
Same.
I just like the outdoors. And I think it's just because I'm so comfortable outside. Especially with me, since the elemental guy.
I was going to say you're the element guy.
The elemental guy, yeah. So I kind of resonate with all of that, but I'm just so comfortable out there. I mean, like today. My wife is about to be mad at me for sharing this, but today, as I told you, I'm down in Florida. So I walked out of my room and I walked down and I put my feet in the sand and listened to the waves and sat there for like 20 minutes and just kind of prepped for tonight. And it was just because I was outside, and it was just nice. So that's me in the outside world right there. I always tell people, if anything happens to me, go find me out in the wilderness somewhere, because you're not going to find me in a city or anywhere else. So
I need to get you out here to the Appalachians.
Absolutely. Stuart says, Tom, there is an RV place on the back of the message you can stay at. They even take 4x4 tours up on the mesa. Oh, you're on the mesa. Sweet. Absolutely, I would do that. So again, I have something else to plan. He's down in Texas. We have to go do that one too. And Wendy says, I'm on my way to Florida Keys. How funny. Yep, I'm right now sitting in Fort Walton Beach, kind of by Destin for the week. So that's where I'm housed at right now. Unfortunately for me, I get out here and we're supposed to have rain every day except for today. So that's why I had to get out to the water today. I mean, I'll go out there even when it's raining, because that's me. But So speaking of that, I've watched you. You've done woods. You've done water areas. You've done open lands. You've done all these different things. Excuse me. What type of outside area is your favorite to go to? Like, what's your favorite to go to, and where have you had the best communication / evidence with?
Appalachian Mountains, just in the middle of the
Yeah.
woods, just walking. I've got some videos on my TikTok and I think my YouTube shorts, but I actually caught, like, I was right there, and I've got a video of this thing just standing up behind it from a tree, like, I mean, right there. But like in the actual video, I was like, "What the f was that?" And then I zoom in and I see it. But it was fun. You know, when I go on some things, I try not to. It's hard to do, but I try not to pick up on things just so I can kind of like experience it a different way.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's hard not to. It just depends. But like I know when I feel that fight or flight that I need to leave, you know, because there's some stupid things I do. I will go out in the middle of the woods in the middle of the night. But sometimes I know when to call it.
You and I differ because I'm too dumb to know any better. So yeah, I am just too dumb to know any better. And people who have been with me on investigations or know me just in normal life are like, yeah, you are too dumb to know any better. I don't have the fight or flight. I just have to stay and watch. So
yeah. And you know, I think one of the strangest places I've been, and I was actually talking to Lily about that before I went in a few weeks, because she had asked when I was going. I went to Brown Mountain in North Carolina, the Brown Mountain Lights. You know, everybody, I'm sure you've heard of them, the orbs that float in the sky.
The orbs that float,
And I tried not to pick up on any information before I went, because if I did, I could totally do that, but I didn't want to. So I go there and, you know, everybody's thinking it's ETs, it's all this stuff, right? I didn't pick up on ETs. I didn't.
Yeah.
We saw some distant orbs. None of them kind of came up. We stopped at an overlook that was kind of like a public hotspot. There was a lot of people in and out at first. It ended up just being us in the car, or like the people that was with us, 4 of us, and there was no one there. It was really quiet. It was really dark. And I kept smelling cud. I used to raise goats, so I know what that smell. And I'm like, okay, why would I smell this up here? We're like 6 miles up this mountain. I mean, it's forever up there. But then I start hearing growling, and I start picking up on these creatures. I almost think that the orbs are man-made in a way. That's what I felt from them, that it's some kind of, gosh, I hate to say it like this, but I'm going to, some kind of decoy to get people there, because there's creatures in those woods that feast on people that go missing. And that's what it is. It's some type of, it's not really a dog man, but something similar. And we all saw stuff. My mom saw an actual see-through person, almost like somebody that was wearing a cloak, you know what I mean, like a invisible suit. But she saw him walk right in front of us when we were setting up, and it was wild. The energy there felt so unsafe, and like we at some point we were just like, okay, we need to leave. I just didn't feel safe at all. And we get back to the Airbnb, which was also haunted. Oh my gosh, it sat right outside of the Pisgah National Forest, and it was haunted too. But like the next morning I get up early and I'm like, hey mom, you want to do a Ouija session with me, and we'll see what's going on up there on the mountain. So she was like, well, let's ask it, you know, what would have happened if we hadn't left when we did. And it said that our car wouldn't have started, and like nobody would have found us.
Oh, great.
Like we would have been chalked up to missing people, bear attack, you know what I mean? And later on, when I got home, I had looked up, you know, how many people are missing from this place? How many people, you know, saw a bear or got eaten? And there were so many people. It is unreal.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah. But it was not what I was expecting. You know, I was totally expecting these alien ET orbs, and that's not what it was.
Yeah. I wonder if they're methane lights. So methane gas has
I think they're created.
Put up a light. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, what happens when you have, like, this is not the first state park I've ever felt that harness some type of creature that they know about, that they track. It does happen. That's why there's so many these missing 411s. That's why you see all these people that go missing in state parks and they're like, oh, they just vanished. But how convenient is it to have a tourist attraction that gathers people from everywhere? And then there's free food.
Yeah, exactly. So, you're delivering. Yay. Yeah. So Primal, just a quick note. Primal says, come to northern Wisconsin. You can hang out with our local forest people and Dogman. So, funny thing we should mention Wisconsin. For anybody who knows of it, Paranormal Rockdown is happening at Broadhead Manor this year, or 2025, July 2025. And Nikki and I got our tickets to it already. So we will be actually at Broadhead Manor, which is in Wisconsin. So we will be heading that direction in July. They do. I'm kind of advertising for them right now, but
is it a TV show? That one?
No,
is that what you're talking about?
No, it's like a Paracon, but it's called Paranormal Rockdown. It's a 3-day event, Friday through Sunday. Friday night it starts at 5 p.m. and it's just live bands playing all night, actually in Broadhead Manor, in the haunted location, and they're going to bring that. And then Saturday they're going to do the whole vendor thing, and people like Dave Schrader and a whole bunch of other ones are going to be there. And then Saturday night into Sunday morning, because you got to leave by 5 is when it ends. But Saturday evening, Saturday night, Sunday morning is when you actually investigate Broadhead Manor. So they're doing like a big event for it. And we got tickets for all 3 events, because you can go just for the concert if you want to, like Friday night, or you can just go for the vendors, or you can do just the investigation. We did all 3 of them, and they're only $90 a piece. So
are you filming this or going to go live or what?
I haven't got that far yet. I literally just bought the tickets like a week or 2 ago. So, and I just found out it's in July. And so it's nice because Nikki can go because she won't be in school. And I already put on my calendar that I'm not going to be working those days, nor the 2 days around it, the day before, the day after, because I have to drive up there and drive home. And I don't want to do all that and try to go to work the next day. So I may do a live from there, probably during the vendor part or something like that. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, so that'll be interesting. So, but that was just kind of talking to Primal, because she mentioned northern Wisconsin. I've actually lived in Wisconsin for a few years. I actually lived up in Almeda / Rice Lake, Wisconsin, which is kind of the northwestern part of Wisconsin. So I was there for 4 years growing up in my younger days. So let's just say, for instance, that I were to come to the Appalachian Mountains, where would be the first place we went? What is the
woods
biggest
where I caught the thing going behind the tree? That's where I'm taking you.
That would be
and then we could go to the TNT bunkers, the Point Pleasant TNT bunkers. That's out in the middle of nowhere, and they're creepy. Yeah. And I recently heard there's definitely wild hogs there, so you got to watch for those because they will eat you.
Oh, that's why you bring a gun. That's why you bring a gun. So, but yes, I would love to do that, because that's one of the other places I want to go. Because again, it's just outdoors. It's just being in outdoors. That's what I want to do. I'm trying to. At some point, I have to hit up Jessica, the Crimson Huntress, and try to get on one of her hunts with her, or one of her investigations with her when she goes out and tries to hunt Bigfoot and everything else. Tag with her team.
I know that would be fun, wouldn't it?
Oh, that would be fantastic. So where do you want to go that you haven't been yet?
Okay. If I tell everybody, somebody's got to take me here, like a surprise. No, I'm just kidding. So I want to go back to Indiana and go to the Jim Jones Boyhood Church.
Oh yeah.
I want to go there.
Yeah.
I've heard it's fun.
That would be interesting. I
So
have
I don't
got.
know if anybody watches Paranormal Nightmare TV. Those guys were telling me about it, and they're like, you would love it. So they gave me the contact info. I have it, but I have not set it in stone yet. I need to. You should do
Yeah.
that one with me. We could. I don't know how far away it would be. Like it
For
might be like
Indiana,
halfway. Yeah.
Indiana for me. Indiana's about 12 to 14-hour drive.
Oh well, never. That's a long
So
one.
it's a few states away from me. I got to travel through a couple of them to get there. So
Okay. Yeah.
yeah,
So when you were talking about that manor place you're going to go,
yeah, Broadhead Manor. Yeah.
yes. So you're going to have fun because I immediately saw this really big dude and he's wearing a suit and he's got like the white underneath and he has like, he breathes really heavy. And I think he's going to like, I think you'll have an encounter with him. But it's like, I can
There's
hear him breathing. He's like, I don't know who he is, but he must have
so
been
they're
important.
gonna.
He's like all dressed up, you know?
Yeah, they're. I'm kind of curious who that would be.
It could have been an owner or a, like, I don't know. I'll have to
Yeah.
figure this out, but he was very important to that place
Oh,
because you know, he's not just like some normal, regular dressed person, you know?
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, Stuart's like, can you imagine the compound in Guinea? Oh yeah, that would be wild. That would be fantastic. Um, I kind of want to do. And, you know, I'm close to a lot of places that we just haven't been to.
Mhm.
Oh, see, Bo says owner. Bo's saying owner. So
I think people would hear him breathing. Like you could hear him coming up the hall from like you somebody scratching something. It's just this dude breathing. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. So that'll be an
Yeah.
interesting one.
I think you'll see him. Like or feel him at least.
Yeah.
Because I immediately saw him.
But what's funny is with us sitting in Omaha, I mean, it's hard for us to get to the coasts a lot, but there's so much that's around us that we haven't been to. Like we haven't done like the Stanley House or the Stanley Hotel out in Colorado, or you know, there's a lot
I
of
want to
places
do
we
that
haven't.
one.
Yeah, I do too.
If you go there
Um,
without me, I'll be so mad at you. That's been on my
you know,
bucket list since I was like 10.
yeah, yeah. But there's like so many different places that are just around the Midwest that we just haven't got out to. So that's kind of stuff I think Nikki and I are going to start doing probably next year, is starting to branch out. We still have a lot of local unknown places that we want to investigate. There's a place here that's right across the border. Well, I say here, like I'm in Florida right now, but there's a place in across from over in Iowa, right across from where we're at. And there is a marker where they buried an Indian chief in the area. They didn't put it right on where he was buried, but they put it in the area. But after he was buried there, about 20 years later, I can't remember which group it was, but one of the Christian groups decided to go ahead and plop a church right on top of it. And yep.
Wow.
So we've been told about some weird stuff that comes out of there, so we want to go investigate that place.
You would do good there because like it's your ancestral heritage. Like you're the chief too. So like you would be fine there.
Yeah, they'd come out and kind of talk. They'd be like, all right, let's have a discussion. Yeah, Wendy says when she went to Omaha, she found a lot of portals there. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff around here. Bo says the Sally House. Yep. We've been to a handful of places down in the Kansas area, Missouri and Kansas area. But I'm interested because Wendy's talking about the portals, but then she also says, and it's funny because I know where she's talking about. She says, go to the La Quinta, you can find hidden rooms and stuff. So,
oh wow.
So I'm pretty sure I know which one she's talking about. Yeah, she says the La Quinta right here in Omaha. Yep, I'm pretty sure I knew which one you were talking about when you said it. Yeah, the Sally House is one. But there's a lot of like, so maybe we just need to bring you two out here and you investigate some of the places out here.
Where's the Sally House at? So, I don't even know. It sounds fun.
It's just down. It's not too far from us. It's like 2.5 hours south of us.
But what state is that in? Is that
Kansas?
Okay. That's probably really far from me.
Yeah, it's pretty far from you. Wendy said that La Quinta freaked her out, the whole half of a building. Nice. We'll have to talk more, Wendy, again. See, you have so much to come on my show to talk about. But sorry, I just draw a blank. My mind just went, nope, stop. And I went, okay, because words are not wording today for me for some reason. It could be because I've been on a plane all day.
Are there a lot of creepy dolls at the Sally house? Or is there something with it?
I don't know. I haven't been there. No, it's okay, Wendy. It wasn't you that broke me. It was me that broke me. Because she said sorry. I don't know. I haven't been out there yet. So Bo can probably tell us because he's been out to the Sally house, I'm sure. Is there dolls and stuff out there? He says Amelia Earhart was born down the street from there.
Oh, she was my favorite person to do I loved it.
Yeah.
Well, her and Lizzie Borden, they were both my favorites, hands down.
Yeah. Yeah, we're close to we're very close to the Villisca Axe house too. I mean, that's I think less than an hour away from us. There's one that we like to go to, and that's they call it the Malvern Manor, and it's out in Malvern, Iowa. And it's been a lot of different things over its lifetime. But they have places in there called the Blood Hallway because there's actually like smear marks from the hand where the blood was and everything else. And there's a lot of different energies there because of the people who were there before. Because it's been like I said, it's been a lot of different things. So it's interesting to go in there, and it's really huge. And my favorite place up there is the attic, because when I went in there and took a bunch of pictures and I tried to do some videos, I came back out and my phone was turned off, and I was mad because I didn't turn it off. It didn't die; it just got turned off.
Mine does that all the time. I hate that.
And I turned it back on, and all of my pictures and video were gone. Like it erased them all. And this is after I've already looked at them and made sure they were there. And then it turned them off and turned it back on. They were all gone. I was all mad.
That happened recently at the TNT bunkers. And Melissa, that was in the chat at the beginning, she was with me. And I'm recording this. We were in one of the bunkers, like pretty far back. And we were going to do a Ouija session. And I had it turned on. We do this whole session. And then I look up and my camera's off. And I'm like, okay, I'm doing this because, I had no idea it had turned off.
Yeah. So I'm flipping through some of these because Bo is saying actually the house west of Sally House is more crazy. He said lots of energy, lots of portals and ritualistic, dark, artsy things. And yeah, we've actually been to the Sally House. I remember that one. And we talked about the house that was by it. But we actually went to the McIntyre Villa too, which is down south of here, down the Kansas City area. Yeah, and Wendy says that I didn't have permission to have those pics and videos. Yeah, apparently you didn't either. But yeah, I mean, I took them and I was talking to the person I felt up there and everything else, and I even told them to smile for their camera and all that wonderful stuff. And I mean, I took like 20 pictures and I looked at them all and I'm like, oh, cool. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna do some video. So I already looked at the pictures; they were there, and I reached into this little crawl space and I crawled back in there a little ways and I was filming it, and I came back out, my phone was off, and I'm like, what the? I was like,
isn't it so much fun when a dead person decides that, hey, you know what? I'm taking that off your stuff. Like,
right? I don't think you need to have that right about now. Yeah, not your turn. So yeah, I was all mad about it. I think I was more sad than I was mad, because it wiped an old picture I had too, which I wasn't very happy about. I had a picture of I took 3 pictures right down the same hallway. It's called the nurses' hallway. And I just stood there and went click, click, click about that fast. And my third one had a long white streak right down the center of it. And the other 2 had nothing. And then, actually I took 4 of them because the one after it had nothing either. So I was like, oh, I caught one of the nurses. Yeah, those were all gone too. I was all mad.
Oh, wow. So. That's interesting, isn't it?
So when you, I'm kind of flipping gears again because, my squirrel moments are kicking in. I'm on a lot of caffeine and a little bit of sleep. So this is how this is working right now. When you start introducing your daughter, I know she's kind of already going on some stuff with you. Are you going to start stepping her into the more advanced stuff? Not probably anytime soon, but are you going to let her go to some of the places that you're like, I really don't like to go here. So
Maybe it's just there's like a lot of the places I like to go like are outside and it's dark and the human factor is there. So, I really don't want to take her someplace where we've got to run for our lives if that happens.
right.
Because I'm only like 5'3", but I will jump on somebody like a freaking spider monkey. I will probably get hit, but they're gonna get hit too. But I don't want it to come down to that. I don't need to catch charges either. So
Yeah.
but when she's ready, yeah. I mean, I think the older she gets, she'll be a lot more ready.
I'm gonna bring this up first, but I have a question for you. This will be something for you to think about too. So Wendy also says, I wonder if her daughter's horse will take her on her own pathway of communications. So I wonder if she's gonna start being an animal talker as well.
Maybe so. There's definitely a reason this happened, and I've just got to trust the process, right? I'm going to trust it. I tell people this all the time when I do readings. You got to trust this path. You might not understand it now, but you got to trust it. And now I'm sitting here like, oh gosh, what did I do?
And she says, she says, I talk to animals and nature spirits. Yep. I can see that. Oh yeah, back to my train of thought. Wow, that thing derailed fast. Had to put it back on its tracks. Does your daughter share her knowledge of what she can do at school?
She's homeschooled, so yes.
Oh. Okay.
Yes, we talk about it.
well, because the reason I was wondering is like if she starts talking to other kids about it, are the other kids, are they going to accept it and be open? Because I honestly see your daughter. I'm sorry, this is just coming through. I wasn't trying to do any readings tonight at all. God damn it. But I kind of see your daughter as like being the connection for others who are afraid to talk about it. Like they'll come to her and be like, hey, but she has to talk about it with her friends first.
Right. And I think she'd be perfect for that. Because she will talk about it all day long. There was one time, and this was a long time ago. I don't even know if she remembers this, but we go to co-op sometimes, and it was years and years ago. But like we were on the playground, and there were other kids, and this little girl's like talking to her, and she was like, "So do you have ghosts in your house too?" And that little girl's like, "What?" I'm like, let's hold that one for like the second or third play date.
Right. Let's stand down on that one for a little bit. How about what's your favorite doll?
But like mentally, my daughter is way farther advanced than an 11-year-old. You know what I mean? Like she just is. She's been around. She's been through this soul thing several times. So she really is.
And she's also that one that if someone were to antagonize her about it or pick on her about it, she'd be like, yeah, so. I mean, that's how she is. She's like, I don't care.
She'd probably be like, I'm going to write your name on a piece of paper and put you in my freezer. That's probably what she would say. And I'll throw some black pepper and some cayenne on there too.
You don't want to know what I can do to you right now. So
that'd be funny.
So
I got a question for you.
Oh no. I wasn't ready for questions.
So have you been having like sort of like psychic dreams lately?
Oh my goodness.
Or like I feel that you're having psychic dreams, but you're kind of like, are you kind of trying to ignore them, or like maybe you're like, oh, I don't know.
And it's funny because earlier when I said we're going to bring this up later, I said something about that. I said, oh, this is something we'll talk about later because I knew you were about to ask me about this. I don't know why, but I warned someone today. Oh, the person I'm traveling with. I said, so I have this girl on my show tonight. Her name is Amber, and she and I have a really good connection for some reason. I don't know what it is, but we seem to be in each other's heads a lot of times. But so I'm going to share this with everybody. I had a very recent, and I'm calling it a vision. It was not a dream. It was a vision. But I'm stumped by it, and I'm trying to figure it out. And I shared it with Nikki. But not really with anyone else. So this is going to be a grand blah for everybody. The other night I dreamt. So everyone, most people who watch my show know that my dad is a huge giant person who stands behind me and is always with me and a guardian and everything else. So at one point, he like walked up to me, gave me a kiss, said, "I love you." And then he said, "I have two brothers, Christopher and David." Now, my dad passed away when I was 3, so I never knew my real dad. I remember him very well, even though I was only 3. And he was a beast of a man. He was a giant. And he was Native American, and he was about 6'10", and he was about 320 pounds. But he was about 10% body fat, so he was big. But he said, "I have two brothers, Christopher and David." And then but when he had me look up at the stars, but they weren't, I could see all the stars, but in the stars were like two portraits, like black and white portraits. One on my left side was Christopher, one on my right side was David. My dad does not have any other siblings outside of a sister. So I'm trying to figure out who the two brothers were to him in the afterlife, because they weren't his brothers in real life. So I'm trying to figure out who they are now. And we were in a very older type blue collar worker neighborhood. And I walked, all of a sudden he was gone, but I came up over the edge of like the hillside and walking down the street, and I can see him turn sideways, and I can see him laughing with another man, but I couldn't see the man's face. I just saw the back of his head, but he was turned sideways, talking to him and laughing at him, and they were walking down the road. And so I was like, okay. So my first fear when I woke up, because it was a fear, was, did my dad leave me? Instantly got a no. I was like, okay, cool, you're still here. But it's almost like I need to know who these two people are, or I need to find out who they are. And my first instant thought was Saint Christopher and King David were the very first two thoughts I had. But I'm not sure why those were my first two thoughts, or simply because that's my Christian background knowledge that I had. But it was a very brief dream. It was all in color. I could see his face purely as if I was looking at a picture of him. That's how I knew it was him. But it was very interesting that was the dream, and it was that brief. But I expected to look up in the stars and see shapes in stars like constellations of these two people, but they weren't. They were actually pictures. They were almost like they were metal carvings of them, like someone carved out the metal of that frame. And I was like, okay, who are these two people? Why is my dad showing me these two people? And then, so I'm trying to pick up on all the symbol. Oh, and then let's just create even more, because that happened on a Friday night going into Saturday morning. Saturday I went and golfed. I'm on the third hole. One of my main absolute spirit animals is the eagle, and I had an eagle fly eye level. Wingspan was about 4 feet. It was huge. Fly about eye level from me. It flew about 50 yards away from me, swooped up into a tree, and turned and watched me. And I was like, well, there's another sign. And then I'm driving home from golf, and sitting up in a tree right when I'm taking a turn to my house is two more eagles. And I'm like, all right, so I'm getting all these signs, but what are they for? So, so now I'm on the hunt to figure out what all the signs are for. And I'm trying to figure them out. So to answer your question in a short answer, yes, I believe I am. I just don't know why and how to figure them out. So there's a lot of people like Stuart saying, could they be my brothers? I don't think so. I don't think they're my brothers. None of my brothers are named that, but also my dad would not have any relation with my stepbrothers I have or anything else, because he passed away early. And then to answer Bo's question, no, I did not see a cathedral. Kim said the first two names she thought of as well were for those two people, King David and Saint Christopher. And And Kim said, yeah, two eagles and two brothers, but it was total of 3 eagles, which was pretty interesting because that one that flew by itself around me. And that was interesting enough because I've never seen an eagle on this golf course at all, ever. But right after my dream, that eagle decided to swoop down. I mean, he was not more than 5 feet off the ground when he buzzed by me, and he wasn't more than 10 feet away from me. So yeah, interesting.
Yeah. So, okay, I have another question for you.
Sure.
So, before you had that vision, what had you been talking to your father that day? Had you been talking to him and asking him questions? What led up
No,
to this?
I don't know what brought this on. I do know that recently I felt the need to start doing more than just this show. So I need to start being more involved. In fact, I even talked, Kim's on here, so I'm glad Kim's on here, because I even talked about being a vendor at next spring's Mystic Fest, which I never do. I've talked
See,
to
I was
Nikki
going to ask
about.
you earlier if you were going to vend at one of them. I was going to ask you. You should.
Yeah, and I am, but I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to present with. What I'm going to bring as a vendor.
Okay, here's what you do. You order a banner and put it on your table, and you sit there and you talk to people about their spiritual journey, and you give them guidance. That's what you do. But did you say, "Hey, I
Yeah.
have a show on Facebook"?
Well, and what's interesting is that I do I'm part of the Paranormal Existence Research Society as well. So we clear homes and everything else and stuff like that. And we're a worldwide team. I want to advertise that as well, the PERS, because I actually have a big table skirt for that already. But Nikki talked about building like a little back banner behind me that I can stand up and talk and advertise this show, and stuff like that. But yeah, that's been my biggest hesitation is what do I bring to the table, type of thing. Because I don't do readings just normally.
Do you not, though? Your biggest setback right now is going to be you doubting yourself and not wanting to give yourself credit.
I don't doubt myself. I just know reality. I don't set time aside just to give readings. I can give a reading, but most of my readings are very spontaneous. It's not something I planned to sit down to do for 8 hours type of thing. So that's where my hesitation is, because I don't doubt myself. I just doubt if I really want to sit down and do that for 8 hours. So type of thing. So that's the hesitation there. But I'm good because there's enough information that I'm tied with Paranormal Existence, with Nikki's in Mind Paranormal Investigation Team, with my show, and the fact I can give information, kind of do all that stuff. Primal's telling me to check the palm of my hands for the Star of David. I wouldn't know where to look. Primal, sorry. I'm not really into the palms too much. So you'd have to give me a better explanation of what I'm looking for. So, and I'm still seeing messages come in. So Kim saying, good stuff, 2 eagles and 2 brothers. Wendy said, I'll look in the book about eagles and I'll send you a message of what this book says if you would like. Yes, Wendy, I would like that, please. Stuart says, before your mother, him in his teens. I don't know, because I don't know anything about that past. And unfortunately, there's nobody on that side of the family that can help me. They've either all passed or they just don't know about my dad. There's other kids that he had before he married my mom and had kids with her. But none of them are those kids. I've already went through that round and reached out to them and asked for information, and they don't have too much information about him as well, because they were all younger as well when he left, when they divorced. So, but anyone that would be older on that side of the family has passed. So I can't gain information for my dad's side to save my life, apparently. So I'm on a hunt to find a needle in a stack of needles, which is fantastic. So, but look at you shake your head at me. What?
Well, when you were talking about your vision, I had tears in my eyes. I felt like so much emotion with it.
Yeah.
And almost like the people you're talking about there's power in that, if that makes sense, because it wasn't like a crying like of sadness. It was more like of a powerful, you know what I mean? Like that type of emotion is what I felt from it.
So when I woke up, I actually felt like I was about to be in tears, but I didn't feel they were negative tears. So I felt the same way. So I don't know what was with it, but when I woke up, I was like, what is going on here? Why am I emotional about this vision I'm having? But I knew it wasn't a sadness. Like I said, the instant thing I did when I woke up was ask if my dad was still around, and I instantly got the answer of yes. And then later on in the day, because I had to reaffirm that, I asked again, and I got yes. And I was like, okay, cool, we're good. I'll stop asking. So, but because my concern was that maybe he had a brother, his brother had passed, or he had two brothers, one of his brothers had passed, and he was going to go with his brother now instead of stay with me. But then when I found out he doesn't have a brother, he only has a sister, and of course she's passed. Go figure. I was like, okay, so what are the names for then? Who are these two men that you call your brother that are not your brother? So it was just a big whirlwind of information. So I see this is all your fault because you decided to ask me a question on my show. See this?
How long ago did this vision happen? When was it?
3-4 days ago.
Okay. So I definitely feel like you're going to have more, and he's going to, it'll be like a continuation. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it'll keep happening, and just remind your dad, be like, hey, we need to see, you got to show me like what this means.
Discussion, yes.
Right. But he can definitely show you.
Yeah. So just so we know, Wendy looked up her book, and it says 3 Eagles is going to be a shift in a new direction. She says, I'll send these pages to you. I think it'll resonate when you find the answers. Talk about a family mystery. Good thing you know a lot of metaphysical people to solve a mystery of your life, of your lifeline. Wow. Right? And there's one person in particular I've been waiting to reach out to, and I won't reach out to her till tomorrow because tomorrow's her free time. But that's actually my first and only mentor. And it turns out that she's the shaman who told me that about the circle of chiefs who took their powers and dumped them into me and all that other information. So I'm curious about talking to her. So I'm trying to figure out what she's going to say about this, being a Lakota shaman, being my only mentor, and see what she sees.
Right? I think so. I think you'll get some answers with that, because I know like the first time that we ever did a live together, that's what I told you. I saw like the circle of these guys, and they're like holding you up, but you're like, it's like your soul, and they're like, this is the chief.
And it was so crazy when you said that, because she talked about the 13 chiefs in a circle, and she asked each one of them, what was the trait of your best warrior? And the shaman took each one of those, put them into a bowl, and then poured them over me and said, these are your abilities of the greatest warriors given to you from the chiefs. So that was interesting that you both had the 13, because they were both the 13 chiefs, and they kind of resonated that same way. So that was interesting. So when he said the chief is in this book, okay, you are about to blossom into new territory of gifts. Great, because I haven't figured out my last ones yet. So I got that going for me.
You've got this. It's that new ascension. We're all like, rise up in your power.
I keep telling Nikki that the reason I'm so lazy is because I didn't want to deal with anything new.
Hey, it's that life path,
I guess.
It takes you where you need to be.
I guess. Yeah.
Your soul journey.
And Primal says, so 3 brothers. I was on the 3rd hole of the golf course, and there were 3 eagles. So there's something with the number 3. So there seems to be that's tied into there as well. And Nikki says, you don't have a choice. Yes, I know I don't have a choice, apparently. And Wendy says, men are ascending more now. Hold on tight, man. And I'm like, great, thanks. Yeah, I'm working my way up to it. So you had to ask me one question, didn't you, Amber? On my show, you had to ask me a question. See, I blame you. So, but yes, you're welcome, everybody. I shared my vision with you that I had, so now you all get to play with that one. Wendy says you always have a choice. Do you accept it or not? No worries. And everyone knows I'm going to accept it. I've gone this far. Why would I not? So let's just keep on going forward. I see a mini-me.
Yeah, she's climbing all over the floor.
So, well, we have anything else you wanna do tonight, or you want me to?
I mean,
do we
whatever you want to do.
Do we want to leave it on a cliffhanger and bring you back when we start getting more answers and all this stuff?
We can.
Okay. Well, let's call it, since you've opened that box up for me. Thanks. And Wendy says, if you accept it, it'll go faster and clearer than before. I'm intrigued. Me too, Wendy. So out loud, yes, I'm saying it. I'm going to accept it. So here we go. Let's do it. So that means you and I will be talking more as well, offline, away from everybody else. So you'll have to get to know what's going on as well. So, but don't worry, everyone. I will also let you guys know what's going on as well. I'll keep you all informed about what's going on. If I grow gills or anything else, we'll figure it out. So. So Amber, do me a favor. Everything on the bottom is scrolling where you're found. Do me a favor and hold your book up again.
Well, I got both of them here.
Oh, good. Tell us about both your books.
This one is about how I got started and my own personal experiences. Different dead people I've met, different locations, some of their stories. What I've picked up from them or what they've told me has happened. And this one is, like I said, it's the Scary Stories, a collection of 7 stories that are based off Appalachia lore, legend, creatures, but the story is fiction.
Right.
And they're both available on Amazon.
And what are the names of them?
The first one is called The Dead in Me, and the second is Appalachia-Mostly True Scary Stories.
Beautiful.
You can just type my Amber Joslin in Amazon and it pops up.
Yeah, and if you go out here to these wonderful little sites down here too, you'll probably find this way. You also find them as well. So Nikki is saying that we will definitely seriously need to plan some haunting together.
Yes, I would love to. Love to.
And Wendy said this is one of her favorite shows with you, so thank you. So thank you for that, Wendy. Fantastic. And don't worry, people, because Amber is a repeat offender. She's a guest that always comes back because I asked her to come back, and we always seem to find weird stuff and cool stuff to talk about just because that's who we are. Almost like we're separated at birth somehow. It's one of our lifetimes.
Soul family.
Yep. But thank you again for coming on. I always love having you on my show. So thank you.
You're welcome.
As normal, don't run away because I will say goodnight to everybody, and then I will come back and talk to you in a little bit. So
okay, because I have some more questions for you.
Absolutely. Yep. So I'll hide you in the back. I'll close down the show and I'll come back and talk to you in a bit. So remember, everybody,
right,
stuff's scrolling on the bottom. Go out and check out her stuff and feel free to talk to her. All right. See you in a bit. All right, everyone. So let me throw my stuff up there just so you know where I'm at, how to find me and everything else. All right. So there's all my stuff on the bottom as well. As we all know, I have no clue who I have on next because I haven't looked that far ahead. So give me a second while I go ahead and look onto my list. I don't even know when my next show is. Hi, Shang. I know you're a little late, but you caught a lot of the show, so don't worry. You didn't miss a lot. Let me see. I just had on Amber. Oh, yeah. I don't have another show until the 18th of November. So I am down next week. But the show I have on coming in 18 November is actually 3 ladies. They are out of the Iowa area. They are collectively called the Good Witches, and they will be coming on my show. They're fantastic, wonderful people. Please come and watch them. You will absolutely love these three. They have their own show. If you want to go out to, or their own site, if you want to go out to Facebook ahead of time and look up the Good Witches, or you can look up Tori Rock, TORIROCK. That's one of the ladies who's on the show, part of the group, and you can see her as well. Oh yeah, hi Kim. She never did say hello. Thanks, Kim. I appreciate it. But other than that, like I said, I will be back on the 18th. Advertisements as normal will go out. Like, follow, share. Still trying to grow the community a little more because I really enjoy having the people on here that they get to learn from everything we talk about. Not only are they learning from me and my guests, but also learning from the audience members that I call my family as well. So thank you for being here, because even despite the fact I don't use words very well, like tonight, you all bring great energy, great love, and great information, and I greatly appreciate it. So until the 18th, stay safe, much love. Talk to everyone soon.